You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of grog, a dimension of bevs, a dimension of pints. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance abuse, of joy and hangovers. You've just crossed over into the Alcohol Review. Everything I'm about to tell you is true. It really happened to real people. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. Imagine if you went to the shop to buy some grog and all of the grog looked familiar but a little strange. The names and the logos were all a bit off, but it seemed like the same thing and also it was a bit cheaper than you remembered. What would you do? How would you feel about that? Hello and welcome back to the Alcohol Review. I'm John. I would love to continue that bit a bit longer, but I actually really haven't seen very much of the Twilight Zone. But you need a good spooky gimmick. It's Halloween season and we're here with the scariest thing of all, which is a potential lawsuit. Today we're going to be looking at a fine array of some classic Aldi rip-off jobs of popular brands of beer. If you've watched the show before, you'll know I'm a big fan of Aldi, and we've reviewed a lot of Taurus cider, which is a pretty much direct one-to-one rip-off of Strongbow. Every time Strongbow does a new flavour, Taurus will release their own version of it. What I love and respect about Aldi, and I'm sure they may need to do this for some reason, I don't know, like maybe they can't rip it off too directly if they're not also offering what it actually is. But all of this shit I bought today, I got 5 or 6 different beers. They have the actual genuine article next to it on the shelf. More expensive, obviously. So we're going to start with what I consider to be the greatest rip-off beer that they do in Aldi. This is, of course, Galahad. It goes without saying that this is an obvious copy job on Foster's. And they have Foster's in there, and the Foster's was not that expensive, but this was £2.75 for 4 cans, which is crazy. You know, you won't find Foster's that cheap. Word to the wise, I don't like Foster's. I've had it once in recent years, and that was because I was in a weird chippy and they had a limited alcohol selection. I can drink it if there's nothing else available, but it is never a preference of mine. And if I was at the pub with someone and it was their round and they brought me a Foster's, I would be peeved. But this isn't Foster's. This is Galahad Premium Lager, 4% alcohol, so that is 1.8 units per can. I probably won't touch this shit because the Taurus cider is still cheaper and stronger. But let's give it a crack. Hey, smells like Foster's. From scent alone, I wouldn't be able to tell that wasn't the genuine article. Let's try some. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't know that wasn't Foster's. I'm sure if you drink Foster's frequently, you would know. To me, I mean, it's not good, but I don't think Foster's is good. Yeah. I don't love it, but you know, for the price difference, yeah, I don't see why you would buy a Foster's instead of this. I mean, I guess it looks a bit fucking trampy, doesn't it? Galahad. First of all, from a distance though, if you rocked up somewhere with this, people from a distance would just think it was Foster's. You would need to actually have a good, quite close look at the can to realise that this isn't a Foster's. Second of all, you know, if you're rocking up to some sort of drinking function anyway and you're bringing Foster's, you're already getting judged for that. I would judge you for that. I would actually respect you turning up with this more. I mean, I've got a few of these. I'm going to feel fucking quite ill and bloated drinking the full lot of all of them. So it's really tempting to just fucking bin this off. But, you know, it's been about 6 months since we've recorded an alcohol review. I'm going to have a fair stab at it. I might need to tap out on some of them a bit later on, but we'll see this off. It's not great. It does have an aftertaste to it that, to me, I feel not nostalgic, but it's invoking the memory of Foster's drank, you know. Foster's was the classic, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, when I was like 16 and first starting to go to like house parties and shit, Foster's was just sort of like the default beer. That was just like the go-to. I think that's changed now, I don't know for sure, but younger people these days, I doubt they're drinking it so much. Nowadays, I associate it with old men. I mean, even people my age, I don't know anyone whose go-to at the pub is a Foster's. But maybe you do. Maybe you're that person watching this. And if so, give this a crack. Oh, it's vegan as well, if that was a concern to anyone. I'm pretty sure I heard with Foster's they use some sort of fish intestine or some weird shit to filter it or something, so it's not actually vegan. Again, for your average Foster's or Galahad drinker, I can't imagine that's anything you would give a shit about. But hey, we've got to take the positives where we can get them. In terms of a rating, bearing in mind the pretty good price of 4 cans of it, I'm going to generously give this a 4.5 out of 10. And I think that is kind. I didn't enjoy drinking it, but I've had worse. I've had so much worse. And if I had a nice cold Foster's, I might rate that about the same. So that was numero uno. We're going to move on now to the next can. What we have here is an Anti-Establishment IPA. This is obviously a knockoff of Brewdog's Punk IPA. And I should say now, full disclosure, I am one of those cunts who does like Brewdog. I don't drink it every time I go to the pub by any means. It's not my go-to, but I'm not going to lie to you. When I go to Wetherspoons and you get that deal with the food where you pay an extra £1 and you can get your pick of like a bunch of different pints, I do get the Brewdog Punk IPA because usually it's expensive and it's fairly strong, so it's good value for money. And this is similar. This is 5.6%, which equates to 2.5 units of alcohol. I think this is probably nearing the cutoff of how strong you can make a tin whilst it could still be enjoyable to drink, in theory. Hey, they got the aroma down. What the fuck is that? That is quite shit, to be honest with you. That is quite fucking wank. Oh, it smells like a Brewdog Punk IPA. But the taste of it is more akin to, I don't know if you've ever done ketamine in your life, but when you've done some ketamine and then you get sort of a drip feeling afterwards, like, you've bumped it up or whatever. This is all hypothetical. This is just what I've been told by people I know who may or may not have done ketamine. But then, yeah, you get the drip and go, like, to get it out your nostril, and you get that taste in, like, your throat, like, just trickling down. That is so similar to the aftertaste of the Anti-Establishment IPA. No, that is ass. That is a fucking garbage, bro. I actually think I'm enjoying it less than the Galahad. The initial taste, not too bad. The aftertaste is the killer here. But also price-wise. I'm a big price guy. I'm not wearing this blazer for nothing. I've just realised from the camera shot, I don't know if you can even see what's on the t-shirt. This is a Twilight Zone Tower of Terror t-shirt, and I just realised the mic was in front of it, so yeah, that was part of the bit. You remember that bit I was doing at the start? That was meant to help with that. Fuck, that's so annoying, because I could have actually done a shirt and tie to look like the Twilight Zone geezer, but I was like, nah, I got the Twilight Zone shirt, but the fucking mic was covering it. I'm out of practice, boys. What the fuck was I talking about with this? This was $1.99 for one can, or if you can spare the extra 76 pence, you can get 4 cans of Galahad. This is rotten. I can't recommend this. It's not like right down there in the treacherous depths of some of the worst shit I've had, but it's bad. That was gross. I said the 4.5 was generous for the Galahad. I'm going to give this a 4, and that is even more generous. But in terms of what's the better rip-off or what's the better like substitute, the Galahad runs away with it. That to me tasted like Foster's, the Galahad. This to me tasted like horse tranquilizer. But we're not done there. We have, I think, 3 beers left. Next up, we're going to try another beer that is astonishing with how brazen it is as a rip-off. This is a Birra Mappelli. Look at that shit, bro. This is next to Moretti on the shelf, and it's cheaper, and it looks like almost exactly the fucking same. $1.49 for a bottle of this, and it is it's 2.3 units of alcohol, 4.6%. 50 pence cheaper than the shitty Brewdog knockoff, and similar in terms of units of alcohol. I don't really remember what Moretti smells like, so it could be the same, it could not be. That's most of it. Look, I'll finish this later. I'm not going to leave this. But you have to understand, filming these, it's a lot to drink in a short period of time. I mean, it's still fucking bloody, it's a decent portion. That tastes of absolutely fucking nothing at all. I'm getting so little from that. I feel like Moretti has a stronger taste to it. This really tastes of fuck all, and I don't know how else to describe it. There's not really a strong flavour to this. This is the most generic tasting, like, it's just a beer. Wow, that is nothing. That's the fucked up thing. It's actually the nicest one so far, like, easily. But it doesn't even, like, taste good. It's just an absence of a bad taste. Bro, this is just beer. This is just classic grog. When you say to the boys, hey, who's up for coming for a grog tonight? This is what you mean. Wow. I think we're going to have to we'll go 6 out of 10 on that. It was the blandest drink I've had, not only on the alcohol review, but maybe just in my entire life. But that's not always a bad thing. There's a reason people like vanilla ice cream. The classics are the classics for a reason. I can't really comment to what extent it's a good copy of Moretti, because I don't really remember what Moretti tastes like. But regardless of that, I would defy any Moretti drinker to buy a nice Birra Mapelli. Drink it cold. I would dare you to look me in my eye and tell me that it was bad. Moving swiftly onwards, we come to our second and final bottle of beer of the day, and that is, of course, going to be Rosini, which, as you might guess, was right next to Peroni on the shelf in Aldi. This was the same price as I forgot the name of it already, the Birra Moretti rip-off. It's $1.99 a bottle still, but this is actually stronger. This is 5%, so it works out at 2.5 units of alcohol. I'm starting to feel quite sickly and a bit drunk, but hey-ho, not too far to go now. Let's give it a crack. Let's have a glass. Let's maybe have a slightly smaller glass than we had with the last one. I mean, I think that's ended up roughly the same, to be honest, maybe a bit less. I don't love it. That's not as nice as I remember Peroni being. To an extent, it just tastes like just sort of generic beer the same way that the last one did, but it's a bit more bitter. Yeah. You would know probably if you drink a lot of Peroni, you would be like, what the fuck is that? I would give it a 5 out of 10, and that's not a bad score by any means, that's halfway there. And to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't even rate Peroni that much more highly, but I would rather get the Moretti rip-off, even though it's a bit weaker, I have saved the drink I was least looking forward to until last, and that would be Saint Etienne. Now, I saw someone drinking this a few weeks ago at something, and I was like, oh, that's like the knockoff Stella. And I feel like they tried to tell me it was some other shit. I feel like they tried to tell me, oh no, this is their version of San Miguel or something. No fucking way. You look at that logo, bro, that is clearly trying to do like the Aldi version of the Stella logo. I don't like Stella. I've never liked Stella. I think I would actually rather have a Foster's than a Stella. Foster's, when I was younger, I was able to drink. Stella, I've never once tried Stella in my life and been like, oh, that's enjoyable. And so this drink fills me with, feelings of trepidation, because if I don't like Stella, what are the fucking chances I'm gonna like this? This was £3.49 for 4 cans, 4.6%, so you're talking 2 units of alcohol per can. Let's give it a go. Smells like a fucking ass. I can't even tell you if it smells like Stella, because I wouldn't know what Stella smells like, because I'm not a fucking wrong'un. Hold the phone. I don't believe what I'm tasting. We need to confirm. We need one more deep pull. Folks, I'll be damned. I'm not kidding. I think this is better than Stella. Look, all you Stella drinkers in the comments, if there are any of you, you might be fuming over that. To me personally, just my recollection, a couple months ago, I've had a bit of a pint of Stella in a pub. I fucking hated it. This is a can. You would think this would be worse than a pint. It's not nice. It's not good. I think it's better than Stella. Might just be me. But personally, bro, my mind is mildly blown. I was expecting this to be the grossest. Actually, shockingly, I would have to say the second best. And if you drink Stella and you're watching this, you'd be like, oh no, that's fucked up. This guy just don't like Stella, so he's biased. Yeah, fucking obviously, that's what the whole, the metric is based on, bro. It's my taste only, so it's not the nicest. I'll give this a 5.5. I will never buy this again in my life. But that is that's the second highest score on the day. Decent, just thoroughly decent. Yeah, of the 5, I mean, this is the only one where I would say this is better than the one it's ripping off. There's no greater delight than drinking 5 very average beers. Thank you for watching the alcohol review. I'm not going to be necking off an extra drink at the end like I usually do, because I've drank probably in the region of about 2 litres of beer already, and I don't want to have to go vomit immediately after filming this video. But rest assured, the alcohol review is back. I might not be doing them super often. Previously, I've been pretty steadfast about getting 12 of them done within a 1-year period. But to be quite honest with you, I couldn't really give a shit so much about the structure of it no more. I'll just do one if I think it's a good idea and it'll be fun. And that's an open invitation. If you have a good alcohol suggestions to get on the show. Let me know in the comments as always. Have a nice Halloween. Have a great life. That's all from me in the studio. Have a good one, boys.